Hi, I'm Emily McCrossan. I'm the Associate Director of the Study Abroad Office, and we are here to talk about academics and financial aid abroad. I'm joined by Megan Kennernick, who is Assistant Director of Financial Aid. So I'm just gonna move this, okay. So one of the first things you need to think about when you're thinking about your study abroad program is how academics and financial aid will impact your program. And so in that respect, I want to address registration a little bit. We have two types of programs in the Study Abroad Office. We have host institution programs, which means that you are going to actually study for a period of time at another institution. And we have faculty-led programs, which means you're going to be traveling with a Geneseo faculty member and taking courses, a Geneseo course while you're abroad. For host institution programs, you will be registered for a STAB placeholder credit, which will keep you enrolled at Geneseo. And this is irregardless if you are going on a Geneseo program or another SUNY program. We'll register you for this placeholder course. If you're going for the semester, it's a 12 credit placeholder course that will keep you enrolled full-time at SUNY Geneseo. Your actual courses will replace this placeholder course after you come back from your time abroad. And we receive your transcript and we use your course approval form to import those courses. The course approval process is part of the host application process. For faculty-led programs, you are simply enrolled into a Geneseo course, just like normal. But for the host institution programs, you will need to complete a course approval form. And the Study Abroad Office can assist you with a course approval process. Essentially what you're doing is you're getting all the courses that you would like to take abroad pre-approved so that you know how they will transfer back to Geneseo. The Study Abroad Office can help you in finding course offerings and syllabi to facilitate this course approval process. The course approval form can be found on the Study Abroad Office website or in the Study Abroad Office. You will follow the instructions in the back of the form for guidance on how to complete the form. And you want to get more courses approved than you actually anticipate taking, so that if there's a course conflict or a course isn't offered once you get abroad, you have plenty of options and know exactly what you can take. For our winter intersession and spring programs, this form is due on December 1st. For our academic year, fall or summer programs, this is due on May 1st. And the idea is that we get this well in advance of your term abroad. This will help Megan with her job approving your courses for financial aid purposes, but this will also ensure that you have a solid plan in place for your term abroad. If you end up taking courses which were not pre-approved, you will be working on working with the necessary office at Geneseo while you're abroad to get the course approved while you're abroad. So you'll need to send a course description and/or syllabus to the appropriate department chair or to the dean's office for approval. This is very important that you do this while you're abroad, so you know exactly how they will come back once you return from the program, and that you aren't wasting your time taking any courses that will not benefit you. All Geneseo faculty-led courses are in fact Geneseo courses, and therefore they do not need to be pre-approved, although you should still check with your academic advisor in regards to making sure this is the appropriate course for you to take. This is the course approval form. Sorry?
I'm just going to jump in really quick too. Emily mentioned this is a really important form for you to complete ahead of time. That's what we're going to base your financial aid eligibility on. and what courses and how we determine what courses are going to be aid applicable or degree applicable for financial aid purposes. So if that's a concern for you, you definitely want to do this sooner than later, and take care to really update that once you are abroad and have your actual registration going. But we'll be happy to help with you as well if you're trying to figure out what's degree applicable and what's not. That is just something I wanted to point out before we move on to just reiterate how important this form is.
And this is the form, so you have an example of what it looks like. And essentially, like I said, you'll list out all the courses that you're looking to take. And then you'll meet with your department chair if it's a major or a minor course, or you'll meet with, or you'll bring the syllabi and any other kind of course materials to the study abroad office with this form if it's for an elective or general education requirement. And this kind of, the back kind of, like I said, gives you the instructions of how it all works. And when you get back from the program, for anything that's within a department, you'll have to do a waiver to waive the course in officially. So how do credits transfer back? Credits taken at any host institution do not affect your overall GPA. However, the grade does still show up on your supplemental transcript, which is often required alongside your regular transcript for any graduate programs or jobs. So it still is important that you work hard, especially because you need to earn at least a C- or better for your courses to transfer back to Geneseo and for you to receive financial aid, correct, Megan? Yeah, so you want to pay attention to the grade and credit transfer chart, which is located on Geneseo's Study Abroad Office website, as it shows you how things will transfer back credit-wise as well as grade-wise from your study abroad program. So this is located on our website for each and every one of our programs, and it outlines how the grades transfer back.
That's another, I just wanted to reiterate that again. The credits that you bring back, even with, so your overall GPA, if you have to review that, we're going to look at your overall GPA from before you left, so that GPA is going to carry with you as we review your financial eligibility for the semester that you return. And then the other thing is that you want to make sure that it is important for you to be, if you have New York State aid, TAC grant, Excelsior, the TAC Institute tuition credit go hand in hand. So you want to make sure that you are bringing back a full-time course load, 12 credits. If you're doing a semester program, of course, the summer or winter is different, but for a semester program, you really want to make sure that you're bringing back that full-time course load of credits. That's 12.
So courses will transfer back into Geneseo as indicated on your course approval form. General education courses must be essentially the same course as your general education course offered at Geneseo. So if not, you may still get approval for a general education course if your course reaches the same learning outcomes, but ultimately this is determined by the dean's office. Unfortunately, you cannot take humanities abroad unless it's a humanities faculty-led program. Again, that's a very Geneseo specific requirement, so it must be taken at Geneseo or on a Geneseo faculty-led study abroad program. Credit can be taken abroad on a Geneseo faculty-led program will count towards your GPA, so it's important that you worked just as hard on those courses as you would here. I think I'm going to leave this one in your hands, Megan.
No problem. So we made a couple of points during Emily's slides there. But just to talk about what really needs to happen before you go, financial aid is available for courses, and you're probably used to hearing this, that are degree applicable. Apply to your degree program, and give me 1 second. So I have a dog barking. 1 second. Sorry, I'm gonna have to pause.
I can kind of run through a few things while Megan is stepping aside for a second, but you can make a financial aid appointment with the financial aid office after you are accepted to study abroad, and you can meet with any of the members of the financial aid office. An easy way to make an appointment is by calling them, and they can make an appointment with you that way. Or you can stop by their office to make an appointment. There is a financial aid form that you can complete to make sure you understand what kind of aid you're going to be receiving and how that will come back to Geneseo. But the folks done in financial aid are really helpful and can help get you started.
Hi, the fun of working at home. So I apologize for that. All right. Emily, were you able to go through all of it?
I just kind of introduced how they can make an appointment with you by stopping by your office or by calling your office, and not too much more.
Okay. Yeah, so as you can tell from the chaos that happened about a couple of minutes ago, I am working from home, but you can always email me to schedule an appointment, call the office, email the office, or financialaid@geneseo.edu, and our phone number, I think we have it on a later slide, 585-245-5731. So those are a couple of ways that you can access myself, or John Heiniger, who is he's a senior financial aid counselor who also takes appointments for study abroad students. So now you're not fighting over, just one person to make an appointment with. Fortunately, we have John on board, who is also making study abroad appointments. So the reason we really push for these appointments is because there is such a strong relationship between the academics and what financial aid is available, and your eligibility there. It also is important to know what about the maintaining your eligibility. So there's kind of two different areas of financial aid that are important. So we look at what courses you're taking for this semester to determine what's degree applicable. But then at the end of the semester, we're also evaluating your eligibility for financial aid based on your performance and your progress towards degree during that previous year or previous semester. So both of those things are super important. So when you're studying abroad and you're taking courses that are going to come back and kind of transfer in as something a little bit different, we still want to make sure that they're giving you progress towards the degree, not setting you back. So we want to work with you to figure that piece out. But then, of course, if we also want to help you figure out the financial piece of it. So if you need to borrow additional loan, if you want to, if you need to, apply for scholarships and you need a form filled out, FBA is one of them where we fill out. I think that's the right acronym. It's been a little while.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, so that scholarship application, if you need that filled out, Gilman, we have to certify in our office your eligibility. So all of those things, we want to make sure that the financial piece isn't going to be the piece that is too much of a hurdle. Um, so those are the two reasons why we really work with students to help get you abroad and get you having this experience. When you come back, we do need final transcripts to be in the system before we can release aid for the subsequent term. So that's a huge piece to make sure that as soon as you get back, you put in requests, however that is, because every school is going to be different. Put in those requests for those transcripts so that they can get to Geneseo as quickly as possible. Excelsior will have to kind of, if you're an Excelsior recipient, we really have to handhold and figure out, okay, what courses are we going to determine. Your Excelsior, your New York State aid is really the aid that may be delayed based on your transcript being delayed. So if there is a delay there, that's where your aid can sometimes be a little held up. Use the links that are provided in this slide and for the maintaining eligibility and the students on track. That'll help you at least plan ahead of time. But of course, we're here to have those appointments so that we can work with you.
And the great thing is financial aid is generally available for study abroad, following the same rules as you would if you were on campus with academic eligibility. There's just some different steps related to the nature of study abroad and getting your course access and receiving your transcripts. So this slide kind of speaks a little bit to the perspective of a student getting ready to study abroad. Certainly it's important, we always want to emphasize the importance of making sure you take time to study while you're studying abroad. You are investing a lot of time and potentially money into making this experience happen. It is in fact study abroad, and so as such, it's important that your academics come first, just like when you're here at Geneseo. And there's a lot of really good distractions while you're abroad. So it's important that you are putting the studying piece first. And so that could mean planning out your time well, making sure to get papers and projects done ahead of time, like I did before I studied abroad in the UK, and they had these really massively long spring breaks. I got all of my papers and everything done, so then I could go on spring break and not worry about having to come back early to work on a project or a paper. So it's really important that you use good time management skills. And again, like Megan said, you need to pass at least 12 credits if you're abroad during the semester in order to maintain financial aid eligibility. So you don't want to jeopardize that. You want to make sure you have a good balance of getting to go and explore the culture, but also staying on top of your academics and getting the most out of the academic experience. So tips for the study part of study abroad. It's important that you're flexible to learn in a new way. Academic systems abroad are all very different from each other. A lot of times they tend to be more independent than the US academic system. So it's important that you are open-minded and you are able to seek help when you need it, but also try to adapt to the learning environment of the system that you're in. One tip from my own experience was, go out and introduce yourself to your faculty member. Make sure that they know you're a visiting international student. They might be able to help adjust things for you, maybe allowing you to use an American citation system like APA. Maybe they will accept different spellings of things. It's important that you seek help from the international office on campus when you need support. Maybe it's a writing style, maybe it's how to do a research paper, because depending on the academic system that you're in, this could look different. And it's important that you practice good time management skills and set priorities. Registering while you're abroad. If you're abroad during the semester, you will likely be doing your registration for the upcoming term while you are abroad. So, of course, that requires some things to keep in mind. Of course, the time difference and making sure you pay attention to the registration dates, you check your Geneseo email. It's important that you communicate with your academic advisor about the courses that you will be enrolling in for the upcoming semester, but also make sure they know you're abroad. And unless you make this known, it might be assumed that you are able to stop in for office hours. And it's important that they know that this is not a possibility for you and that you'll have to do everything virtually as we are currently doing now. And if you are currently enrolled in a course abroad that is a prerequisite for a course you intend to enroll in for upcoming semester, the registration system will block you from registering for that course. So you might need to submit a general permit form to your department chair for the prerequisite override, or you can request that your department chair completes the prerequisite override online. So things to think about as you plan for registration while you are abroad. When you return for host institutions, students, transcripts can take several months to receive from abroad. So just be patient with us. It will take some time. If you're a graduating senior, this is a really important consideration you need to take when you're deciding if you want to study abroad your last semester of your senior year, because it may delay your receipt of the degree. Give the study abroad office a few weeks to process your academic transcript after we receive it. It will show up on DegreeWorks when the transcript has been processed. You will then need to also make sure that your course approval form is up to date. It's important that you do this right away because, again, this will hold up your courses from transferring in. And oftentimes you will need to request a waiver from your department chair to get the course to transfer over. Even though you have the course approval form, you also need to get the waiver on the back end in most cases. And then financial aid recipients must submit waivers before they leave. Is this still true, Megan? Yep, okay. I hadn't seen that one in a while, so it's a good reminder for myself.
Yeah, they definitely need to have any sort of waivers. I know the registrars and DAPA have really pushed hard on faculty to make that happen, which is extremely helpful because otherwise it may look like it's a course that's not degree applicable.
Yeah.
So it just kind of helps keep everything in line and moving along so that there isn't too much of a delay. If it happens, if you get an email saying that, hey, looks like this doesn't apply to the degree or looks like there's an issue, just let us know what's going on because we're not always privy to that academic side. We're not academic advisors, so we can only go off of how things are coded in one way. So if there's a waiver or an override that's going to happen that makes something applicable, we just need to be filled in.
Thank you. And then at this point, we just want to emphasize that a lot of these policies are written down in the faculty-led and host institution program student handbook, and that we are resources for you should you have any questions during this process. This is a lot of information we're throwing at you, but we're here to guide you as you go through these steps. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. And again, feel free to call, stop in, or contact us in any way that you need. And we're happy to help you be able to take a semester abroad or summer. Because summer's a whole other animal. So really contact us over that one.